Okay.
All right.
Now we can get into whatever you had next, which I'm sure is thrilling. And
It is. Now, this is something that I've been curious about. Is this seems to be going on a lot.
Yeah.
And we're going to see a little scene. Now, you can't really tell what this is quite yet.
Looks like it could be the inside of some kind of...
I don't know, warehouse or something?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to tell. Let's give it a...
Yeah, what this actually is a Nordstrom in Topanga Mall in Topanga Canyon, or whatever the fuck it is in California.
Okay.
Now, what we're going to see here is what I have been seeing and hearing is very, very typical in every city in California, in most cities across the nation. And people are wondering what the fuck is going on. Okay, let's just take a look at the scene here. It's just a 30-second clip of Topanga Mall, Nordstrom.
Okay.
Let's just take a look.
I'm interested.
Oh, well, look at that.
It looks like they're having a really crazy sale.
It really does, yeah. Look at this guy's like, I can't stop anyone. What do I do?
Okay.
Yeah, there's just gangs of criminals smashing stores to
That guy's
pieces.
not even wearing a mask.
Look, this guy won't fucking take that purse off because it's on the fucking table. He's like, fuck it, I don't care. It's a fucking Louis Vuitton bag. I got 7 now. You know what I mean? Like, what the fuck is this?
Well,
how is nobody being prosecuted?
What's crazy to me...
Because here's the thing. I don't give a shit about crime that much. But when it's all out allowed... Well, you can't have a civilization, right?
And you can't have a store anymore.
That's what I mean. You need... Are they... I don't understand.
We've been seeing this a lot the past couple of years where it's like there seemed to be this this thing that just happened in the zeitgeist where all of a sudden enough people realized, like, hey, if 40 of us just run into a place... What the fuck are they going to do? Which was always doable, but as the videos started coming out, it seems like it's got to this point that it's all over the fucking place. I look at those police scanner Facebook pages sometimes. I tell you about that. And one of the ones you see constantly is there's a town near us called Oak Brook, and it's Oak Brook Mall. Oak
Brook's a very rich town.
Yeah, and it's somewhere where historically, there was no crime. There was nothing going on. They had a murder in
you go there because it's got an outdoor mall that's really cool. It's got a fucking...
Yeah, and it's all rich people. And
it's very... Yeah, a lot of people would go there to feel rich for a few hours. And buy a shirt.
They haven't had a murder since like 1938 or something.
That's
or whatever.
Gonna change.
Yeah, but so anyways, I'll see constantly the Facebook things for the police scanners about Oak Brook Mall. Oak Brook Mall, 6 subjects smash thing and grab this, whatever. It's always say between 5 and 15 people.
Jewelry stores, Macy's, Nordstrom.
Dude, it happens all the fucking time.
That's what I'm saying.
And we see these videos all the time. And what it really makes me wonder is how is nobody and none of these big companies who don't give a shit about anyone, and I don't really give a shit about them either, but like you said, society is fucking collapsing around us at this point.
Yeah, that's the part.
Which I never really pictured myself as somebody like, hey guys, stop stealing from Nordstrom.
I know, exactly.
But
when it's ramshackle across the country and nobody's being even pursued, much less prosecuted, this is what a lot of people on the right say, which again, I'm being forced into a position where I'm just on the right somehow. Because traditionally, I would be more in favor of old school Democrat lawmakers, you know what I mean, prosecutors and shit like that, because they did have more of a penchant to give leniency or
attempt rehabilitation of some kind.
Yeah, exactly, rather than just being heavy-handed. But now we have seen, or at least it's been being said that it's being seen, and I've seen some evidence of it, where these what they call, I forget what the fuck they call them themselves, really. But it's like these very, very progressive prosecutors. And they are refusing to prosecute crimes. It's very odd. I just don't understand what the end goal is. Because first of all, if you say are in New York or LA or Chicago, like you see it, everyone there sees what's going on. The city is deteriorating. It's being given over to criminals. It is being, and so...
Well, it's weird.
Stores are not going to stay there, so then you don't have a city. So then you just are collapsing your own city. I don't get what the fucking end game. I don't understand what the logic is behind this.
Now, was there a time in our past where stuff like this was ever really happening? I can't think of an example, really, but
maybe let's go to the comments for that. Was there a time, anyone in the history of the U.S. where things like this were going on?
But like I said, it's weird, and I think it's actually driven buy these videos. It really is. Like,
Now it is, yeah.
yeah, now
People are like, shit, dude, I could just go fucking steal $10,000 worth of shit.
and if you think about that,
in
so
5 minutes.
somewhere online, somebody's organizing this too, where it's like
George Soros.
Yeah, and him and Dick Cheney got together and
Yeah.
cooked this whole thing up. That's a rough
this is-
combination.
This smash and grab brought to you by Cheney Soros.
No, it's Halliburton is.
They're coming in and rebuilding the stores with
yeah.
government no bid contracts. They're like, we'll get your goods back, and then the government owes them $4 billion.
This large group of urban teenagers
Yeah.
performing some petty crimes in your store is brought to you by Halliburton. Yeah.
Rebuilding by Soros Halliburton.
So no, it's a thing that it's weird. It's now out of the box, and it's just gonna fucking keep getting worse. I feel like because it's kind of cracking me up too because I'm like, how have none of these big companies, like I was gonna say, that don't really care about, how have none of them figured out how to protect their bottom line? You never even see anyone trying. It's just like,
well, they can't because the laws there have been made. It's very weird. And this is funny here.
And this is why now you can't go to a fucking regular store half the time. You have to have an appointment. You ever try to go buy an Apple product? It's a fucking nightmare.
I just bought a suit the other day.
Everything in Walgreens is locked in
nice
a
fucking
cage
suit.
now. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah. No,
what?
I mean it's now here. It's funny. Tony here says, "Sadly, I agree. Me, the quintessential bleeding heart." Now this is funny because that's my brother, and we've had discussions and sort of arguments about the things like this because we have differing views. I used to be more in step with what he's more into, and I have sort of drifted away because of things like this. But yeah, it's odd because I'm watching that happen more and more. People that I was in a first wave, there's another wave that came after that, and now there's more people. You see Bill Maher, which now a lot of people on the left are like, fuck him, but a lot of the people that used to be on the left are now with him, you know what I mean, in the center, which now has become right. It's very fucking weird.
Well, yeah. I mean, I know personally that without changing my beliefs, really,
You're a right winger now.
I just, without changing any of my beliefs, I went from some like artistic leftist kid at some point to, and this is really what people would call me.
Sure.
Was like, see, back, say in the early days of 9/11 was an inside job. You know what they called you for that?
Yeah.
A communist.
A communist. Yeah.
A communist.
Yeah.
So.
That was a left-wing conspiracy.
Right. Now, I mean, correct. So now, without changing any of my beliefs, following like pretty much the same content and the same stuff, a few years down the road, Homeland Security put out a fucking memo that described me to a goddamn T and called me a right-wing terrorist.
Yeah.
And okay, what?
Yeah, dude, it's bizarre, man. I've been trying to grapple with this for years now. Like, I didn't change. Like, now I will say this: a few things.
So my point is,
the
people that aren't really the ones changing. It's like this fucking wild, insane ball of perception that surrounds us. You know, it's just this cacophony of fucking political nonsense that's changing.
Yeah.
You know?
Now I will say it was triggered by Donald Trump and Hillary Clinton. That's where this started. I started seeing I considered
they were made by CERN, I think.
Yes.
In some kind of particle acceleration gone awry.
Yeah.
Like
But yeah, it was at that time where I was sort of forced to examine my beliefs because I was like, okay, I hate this guy, but I am not on board with what they're saying now about the whole situation. You know what I mean? And so that was where it all started. But I was going to say I have changed somewhat on my views because I hadn't looked into them very deeply. I held views that I realized were like, just because that's what I wanted that to be. You know what I mean? So I have changed a little, but I think a lot of people are just the same as they were, like you or like a Bill Maher or something. He hasn't changed. It's just everything is shifting from the left to the far left. Anyways, Tony says, looking to flash mobs of teens in cities. Yeah, what are they calling that?
we'll just throw on like a compilation you can have running or something. I'm sure there's a million of them.
Yeah, because what are they called though? There's a specific name for those ones where it's like a teen attack or something. It's not a flash mob. They're like just go down there and jump on cars and kick in windows and shit. And they're just like,
we're getting so old now. You just asked me, what is that thing that's called? It's like a teen attack.
yeah. But they're like, there's a
That's
name
like
for
something
it.
my mom would What is that? What is it when the teens and I don't know,
Yeah.
they're attacking and they think they call it something?
A teen attack.
A teen attack.
I think that's an anime that your old music teachers into. Yeah, the R-rated version.
Right. That was, yeah. I lived a teen attack. Teen attack. I remember her.
Connie says, I haven't changed most of my ideals, but yeah, somehow the leftists or middle of the road people are considered right-wing fanatics now.